The Omen is a 1976 horror film directed by Richard Donner and starring Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, David Warner, Billie Whitelaw, Patrick Troughton, and Harvey Stephens. The film opens in Rome at 6 a.m. on June 6th. Why am I telling you that? You can fucking read. Ambassador Robert Thorne arrives at the hospital and learns that his newborn son is dead. Oh, back in the day when strangers were encouraged to stare at babies through a window. So Robert doesn't know what to do, other than his wife doesn't want to adopt. What does he decide to do? He adopts a kid and then bullshits his wife. I know this is Gregory Peck, but that's a dick move. Robert is then appointed ambassador to Great Britain, so off to England they go with a loving family montage.
Damien?
Damien?
Damien? Damien!
Damien?
I hope the life insurance is paid up. That little shit. It's now Damien's 5th birthday, and here's David Warner with some foreshadowing.
Run out of film?
Just saving a bit for his canonization.
How's that?
I don't know if we just got the heir to the Thorne millions here or Jesus Christ himself.
After being told to pretty much fuck off by Kathy, Damien's nanny and this dog make a love connection.
I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Who's paying for that window? Jesus, Jennings, be blatant about it.
I am sorry. Will you, send me a bill for the damage?
Well, that's all right, Mr. Ambassador. Let's just say you owe me.
That's never a good thing to hear.
I didn't know you were such a soft touch.
On that trip to Saudi Arabia, why isn't it the right time?
Hey, that's the asshole that insisted on a Waldorf salad on faulty towers.
And if we can't manage the Waldorf salad...
I want a Waldorf salad!
And hey, it's the doctor! I would just call him Doctor Who, but all those Whovians out there would start busting my ass in the comments, so fuck it. He asks Robert to find Christ and talks about Damien's mom.
Wife.
I saw its mother.
You're referring to my wife.
Its mother, Mr. Thorne.
This is blackmail, then come out and say it. What is it that you're trying to say?
His mother was a...
She's got the jack, and he's fucking tossed.
Father. Thank you.
Was it weird in the 70s to call for someone and then snap their picture at random? The new nanny, Mrs. Baylock, arrives out of nowhere and introduces herself to Damien.
Have no fear, little one. I am here to protect thee.
How much does that shit cost an hour? They head to a wedding and it goes great. That's the same way I react when I have to go to a wedding. They discuss Damien's health, and Robert goes to check on him, and what the shit?
Who gave you permission to bring a dog in the house?
I thought we could use a good watchdog, sir.
You're fucking fired! Kathy and Damien go to a safari park, and they apparently got the fast pass option. Asshole giraffes. Want to know how Planet of the Apes got started? Meanwhile, Doc number 2 stops Robert to tell him that his wife is in danger and sets up a meeting.
Father? Thanks again.
This is turning into stalking. Robert meets Doctor number Y and is told a poem that means nothing, then finds out that they're all going to die and Robert needs to kill his son. So Robert promptly tells him to fuck off. Apparently London also has Illinois weather and all hell breaks loose. Thanks for nothing. The doors are locked, but eventually the priest gets the point. Why not try to move instead of screaming at it? Looks like Kathy needs a wine day. She reveals that she's pregnant and she wants an abortion. The great news keeps rolling as Robert gets a call, and look who made the front page.
Now, this is just fantasy. She also thinks the child isn't hers.
Busted?
It was foretold that this pregnancy would be terminated. I'm going to fight to see that it's not.
Wow, this whole conversation is opening a huge can of fucking worms. Don't worry at home, Damien takes matters into his own hands. Kathy loses the baby and makes a request of Robert.
Don't let him kill me.
Jennings contacts Robert about the priest and they meet to discuss various photos that foretold the future. They check out the priest's flat and holy shit! There's some stalking evidence and Jennings reveals why he wants to help Robert find out what the hell's going on. They head to Rome and learn that the hospital and all its records burned in a fire right after Damien's birth, but they do discover where the priest that passed Damien on to Robert is now located. I wish we had elevators like that. They grab some hipster coffee and discuss the signs of the birth of the Antichrist.
Return to Zion, and there has been a comet. And as for the rise of the Roman Empire, scholars think that that could well mean the formation of the common market, the Treaty of Rome. He shall rise from the eternal sea.
Theologians have already interpreted the eternal sea as meaning the world of politics. The sea that constantly rages with turmoil and revolution.
No shit. They go to find the priest and discover his face has been lumised. He has abandoned Christ and Robert asks him about the mother getting this scribble on the table.
Cerveteri. It is an old cemetery from Etruscan times.
I'm glad somebody could fucking read it. They go to the cemetery and obviously this excursion must happen at night. They find the graves they're looking for, opening the first to find... That's vandalism. They open the child's grave and learn that they murdered Robert and Kathy's baby. Bunch of Rottweilers show up and we get a little mauling, then they haul ass out of there. Robert calls Kathy to come to Rome, but while she's getting ready, Baylock arrives to help her to her flight. At least she's in an ambulance. Robert learns about her death, and then they head to an exorcist who tells Robert how to kill the Antichrist.
This first knife is most important. It extinguishes physical life. The subsequent placings extinguish spiritual life and should radiate outward.
It's kind of like putting the lug nuts back on a set of rims.
Is there proof? Oh, yes. He bears a birthmark, a sequence of sixes. If it is not visible on the body, it will be beneath the hair.
Because you don't want to kill the kid and then, whoops! Robert doesn't want to do the deed, throwing the knives, but Jennings says, shit, yeah, I'll take care of it. Nope. The 1970s, when you could carry a bag of knives onto an airplane. Robert arrives home to give Damien a haircut, and oh shit, he's a fucking devil. Baylock attacks, but is knocked out. He drags Damien downstairs where Baylock attacks again, only to get stabbed in the neck with an ice pick. Robert heads to the church but gets sighted by the cops. He brings Damien to the altar as the boy makes one final plea.
Please, Daddy, no! No, Daddy, no!
Oh. Then he goes for it.
Police! Stop! Stop or I'll fire!
We then go to a funeral where we learn that Damien has continued to live in taxpayer-subsidized housing, this time with the President of the United States. Coming out of the religious horror era of the 1970s, sparked by The Exorcist, The Omen is a classic film. It's a high-quality production with some great performances. Gregory Peck's in this thing, for Christ's sakes. Richard Donner's direction is first-rate, and what I really like is the fact that when you get right down to it, it may not be supernatural things happening. Could end up being a bunch of flukes and mental illness with this small family caught right in the middle. Probably not, but look at all the theories that came out of The Shining. The Omen is a classic that has this sense of dread in every frame of the film, especially with that score.
Mrs. Baylock!